So it's only a couple of slides, but our Ready to Code project is technically it's under the banner of CodeSB, and the goal of our program is to get students civically engaged and interested in software design and development by introducing them to basic coding and computer science concepts. And we're kind of doing this in several different ways. It's kind of come up in like 3 phases. And the first part is what Leon's been involved with. So I'll let Leon is a library technician here at the Santa Barbara Library, but he has a computer science background. He majored in computer science, specifically Java. So once he came on board, we were like, hey, we're working on something that you might be interested in.
Yeah, so I'm running the coding lab, which is weekly, so every Wednesday, about 4 to 5:30. It's like a 1.5 hour thing. So the original age group was supposed to be between 10 to 17. The group we blended with is about 9 to 12, 9 to 13, around that range. And then basically the structure of it is like we go over a specific core concept every day, and it's got different concepts. So for example, and it's project based. So for example, we went over a loops and conditional project where they made like a little chase the mouse game, like, you know, like the character chases the mouse and gets scores points and everything. That was like a 2-week thing. Going again, emphasizing on loops and conditionals. We did one where it's like, you know, just click on a sprite for points or whatever, and that was supposed to be like to emphasize the variable concept, like to learn like how to use variables in different ways. Today we're going to be running a debugging course where like we're just going to go over like some broken code and try to fix it. All of this basically is done in Scratch. I've been introducing in small snippets like Java or Python, but it's not the emphasis right now.
And Scratch was the program that they used in school, or
yeah.
It was what they were familiar with. So
yeah, so a lot of them had a background in Scratch. Like they took a course in public school like about a year ago, roughly, most of them. It wasn't really like intense or anything. It was just a small thing. So they were really kind of familiar with it. Yeah.
So then you kind of gave them the option to, we can try kind of doing something else or using a different platform, or you can use something else, and they all kind of chose Scratch.
Yeah, we had an open discussion the first day. Like I did a off computer activity with them, just go over like computer logic, and then like I had like a frank discussion with them about like where they kind of wanted to take it, because I had my own ideas, but you know, whether or not that was interesting to them was different.
The coding lab was it launched in January with Leon.
Yeah,
we had previously done a kind of drop-in coding club, but we didn't see a lot of retention with interest in that, and it kind of interest waxed and waned with that. So this the coding lab has kind of built a little cohort of kids that are interested, and the next phase, there's another project they'll might be more interested in down the line that I'll get to. Another component of our CodeSB is our getting a mobile kind of computer science computational thinking lab. So we have we kind of just launched our mobile outreach van. It's a soft launch right now, and it's to deploy library services in areas that we can't always reach with the physical services of the library building. So we're bringing the library to different community organizations, after school programs, and schools. And we have a kind of inventory of robotics and technology to bring to those places, as well as our branches, because the Santa Barbara Public Library system is unique in that we have 2 city branches in downtown Santa Barbara, but then we also we've serviced 5 county branches that are in more remote parts of the county. 2 of them are up over the mountains, and then there's one along the coast, and there's another one in Montecito, and also Goleta. So those are in more downtowny areas, but I think out of 4 of them, 2 of them are 1-room branches. One one tiny tiny room branches. So they don't have the technology resources to do coding clubs, as well as also the staff. So with our mobile outreach van, we can support those programs as well. We also have 2 existing programs, Maker Monday and Tech Tuesday, at the Central Library, where youth can kind of play with robotics and different technology. Up until getting involved with the Ready to Code cohort, though, those programs were very kind of just play with technology. There wasn't which is fine, but there wasn't a lot of kind of theory or conversation behind those programs. So participating in the cohort, we've been able to kind of empower the staff and individuals doing those projects with the concepts to communicate to kids like why these, what's going on with robotics and coding. And it's not just that computers are magic boxes. They respond to human input with that. And then we're also, because of our interesting staff organization, there's some staff members that I've seen maybe once in my time working here in the last year. Communication is something we're always kind of working on. So we're actually putting together a staff toolkit to disseminate that information and activities to our staff. So even if they don't have the mobile outreach van at their location on a specific day, there's still some activities that they can turn to, or they can check out certain kits for 2 weeks and they can facilitate the instruction as well. And I'm kind of taking a page out of the Ready to Code handbook, and I'm probably going to set up a Google site for that, so that then they can, the resources will be readily available for the staff members. And this is just to say, we've been trying to use the project outcome suite for our evaluation platform. It's proved to be very interesting because it's not necessarily designed for youth coding evaluation, but it's having just any sort of information and something to work with has been helpful. And we've been using that for our Maker Monday programs, our Tech Tuesday, and Coding Lab as well. Also our adult coding programs as well. These are some pictures from our most recent science night that we went to. I'm talking to a parent on the top picture, and that's been something also really cool, doing the outreach sessions, and even the coding lab is getting to talk to the parents. Most of the time working with parents, they're very receptive and they want their children to be engaged with computer science, and they know that there's an inherent benefit to that. But sometimes it's also explaining like why is a certain thing we're using useful, or exercising that practice. And in the bottom picture, we're using the cublettos. No, cublets. There's cubettos. It's a different one. Those are the cublets, which is a kit that we received from the grant, and it's manipulative that demonstrates coding. So that was a really fun one, because at one point during the night we had like a little baby sitting on the table, and he was just playing like if they were blocks, and that, he doesn't realize he's engaging in coding. He's just making things light up. Our third phase to our CodeSB project will be, this says June. We're hoping to kind of get it started earlier, but we want to have a CodeSB Design, kind of a design lab. It would be a 6-week youth coding program for our regular participant group of ages 12 to 18. And this gets to kind of where we want to go with the civically engaged community. So our summer learning theme this year is Choose Adventure. So it's kind of like summer reading, but we've kind of elected to do our own program. And yeah, we will let our participants identify an issue or opportunity to address. They'll select the medium that they want to address it in, and then strategize ways to address that. So it's using a little bit of design thinking, a little bit of looking at their community, and then thinking about how they could build something that could address a problem or an opportunity in their community. And it's really interesting to think about what kids may come up with without knowing what they come up with our community has changed a lot in the last 2 months with the recent weather disasters and whatnot. So it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, even if kids have thought about that or how they might think about that. Yeah, and we reflect and evaluate all along the way. So I think that's the end of our presentation.